Now, I recently played 100% of LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga, and I had an absolute blast doing it. After uploading that video, I made a poll for you guys to vote on what game I should play next, and almost all of you voted for LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean. So as you already have probably guessed, in this video, that is the game that we are going to be playing 100% of. In order to do this, I would need to play through 20 levels, collect all 40 achievements, obtain all the collectibles, unlock and purchase every character, unlock and purchase every extra, and reach true pirate in every level by filling up the stud meter. Now, I am a big fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, so I was super excited to play this game for the first time. Let's start. As always with these games, I wanted to play through the main story first without worrying too much about collectibles or achievements, so I started up a new game and jumped into level 1, Port Royale. This was an amazing first level and it felt exactly like the movie, which was great. You start off as Will Turner, and after a battle with Jack in the barn, Jack ends up imprisoned. But then Elizabeth is captured and we break Jack out of jail, hoping that he can help us find her. Right off the bat, one thing that makes this LEGO game stand out more than others is the amount of puzzles, which is a factor I personally really enjoyed. Each character has their own unique skills, a very prominent one being Jack's compass, which is used to find items that aren't always obvious. This was an awesome feature as it made unlocking characters rewarding rather than feeling like a task. As I continued to progress through the first level, I earned my first achievement. Shit! Okay, there's my first achievement. After that unfortunate event, I stole a boat and finished the level, earning another achievement. Yay! With the first level complete, we got our first look at the hub area, which is honestly one of my favourite hub areas in any LEGO game. It's simple, with just enough exploration to keep things interesting. I wasn't in the hub area for long though, because it was soon time to jump into the next level, which turned out to be my favourite level in the whole game, Tortuga. Now this level was just iconic. You play as Jack, and your goal here is to assemble a crew so you can go after the Black Pearl. You therefore have to run around this island, completing puzzles and unlocking new characters. The level design here is flawless, and it captures the movie so well. I had a lot of fun playing it. Level 3 was just a massive boat fight against Jack's crew and the crew of the Black Pearl, and to be honest, I didn't love it. In fact, I wasn't a fan of any of the boat levels in this game, as I found them a bit boring and thought that they all just felt the same. This is probably a controversial opinion, seeing as the game is literally about pirates, but these levels just really weren't my cup of tea. Moving on to the next one, which was super interesting. You play as Jack and Elizabeth, and the whole level takes place in a cave. Throughout this level, I had to complete a variety of puzzles in order to progress, which was a lot of fun, and the level also ended with a neat boss fight against Captain Barbossa, and his annoying ass monkey. Luckily for us, we come out victorious, but he ends up being rescued by a character that we'll run into later on in the game. With this level completed, we reached the end of the first movie and earned the Black Pearl achievement. The second story, which is of course based off of the second film, Dead Man's Chest, starts off super strong with a witty and unique first level. In this level, you're trying to escape a violent tribe who has kidnapped Jack and taken him as their leader. Rather than being on foot, you spend majority of your time inside a rolling ball, and after navigating the island and taking out enemies, we eventually managed to rescue Jack and escape in one piece. Finishing this level gave us just enough gold bricks to head off to the right and unlock a new section of the hub area. After escaping the tribe, we find ourselves back on the boat, and with the help of Captain Barbossa's monkey that we kidnapped,
we cannot escape, we cannot come out.
We set off to find that mystery character from earlier in hopes that she will be able to help us locate the Dead Man's Chest. In order to find her, we must navigate our way through a murky swamp, full of puzzles, platforming, and a big ass crocodile that we have to fight. This boss fight was fairly simple, but for whatever reason I really struggled with it. Safe to say this crocodile killed me a fair few times. As if all these things weren't bad enough, Captain Barbossa's monkey was also constantly throwing bananas at us, which got super annoying. Despite all these things, we made it to a little hut and finally met Tia Dalma, who is the character from earlier who rescued Barbossa. This is when we find out that the chest we are after contains Davy Jones' heart and is buried on an island somewhere. Will makes a deal with Jack to exchange the key for the chest for Jack's compass, but things don't go to plan and he ends up on board the Dutchman, sentenced to serve Davy Jones' crew for eternity. It's not all bad though, because on the Dutchman he is reunited with his father, Bootstrap Bill, and they work together, allowing Will to escape with the key on the Edinburgh trader. Obviously, Davy Jones is not thrilled about this and he summons the Kraken, but once again, Will escapes. While this is happening, Elizabeth heads to Tortuga, where she finds Jack as well as a very drunk Norrington. Jack tricks Elizabeth into using his compass to find Davy Jones' chest, and everyone arrives at Isla Cruces at the same time. This is where things spiral into chaos, and a fight breaks out between Jack, who wants the chest to settle his debt with Davy Jones, Will, who wants the chest to free his father from the Dutchman, and Norrington, who wants the chest in order to have his life as a navy officer back. In amongst the fight, Norrington sneakily steals Davy Jones' heart from the chest and runs off. Now this level is another firm favourite of mine. The island is scenic and the overall story to this one is action-packed and hilarious. It's probably the most memorable level in the entire game for me. Davy Jones obviously isn't too happy with his heart being stolen, so he sends the Kraken after the Pearl. At first, Jack flees, but he soon has a change of heart and returns to help fight the Kraken. It took me so long to figure out what to do during this boss fight, and I died an embarrassing amount of times. It's truly humiliating how much I seem to struggle with games made for children, but I was eventually able to get the job done. After the boss fight ends, Elizabeth realises that the Kraken is only after Jack, so she decides to sacrifice him, allowing everyone else to escape. This brings us to the end of the second story and we earn the Dead Man's Chest achievement. Overall, I'd say that this was the best out of the 4 stories. Each level was unique and I enjoyed every second of it. The third story, At World Ends, starts off with another banger, Singapore. The level design in this one was off the charts and I was also able to get an achievement for defeating 100 enemies. Shortly after leaving Davy Jones's locker and returning to the world of the living, the Pearl stops at an island, but is soon attacked and Elizabeth is handed over to Feng, who is then killed by Davy Jones. Elizabeth and the rest of the crew end up locked in the Dutchman's brig, but they are rescued by Norrington, who frees them at the cost of his life. Halfway through this level, I got an achievement for firing 100 cannonballs. Whilst everyone else is fighting for their lives, Captain Barbossa arrives at Shipwreck Cove with the Black Pearl in an attempt to persuade the Brethren Court to release Calypso in order to restore her power as goddess of the sea. After completing this level, I earned another achievement. Okay, got another achievement! Moving on to the Maelstrom, which is the last section of the third story, and there's a lot to unpack with this one, so bear with me. Barbossa is able to free Calypso, but after Davy Jones' betrayal is revealed to Calypso, she causes a maelstrom and refuses to help either party. The Black Pearl and the Dutchman then begin to fight in the maelstrom. On the Dutchman, Jack and Jones fight over the heart, and with the help of Will, who ends up fatally wounded, Davy Jones is finally defeated. The Dutchman then sinks, and whilst Jack and Elizabeth are able to escape, Will remains on board. This is when Beckett shows up on his navy ship, and the Dutchman once again emerges from the sea with Will as the new captain and the curse lifted. Together, the Black Pearl and the Dutchman destroy Beckett's ship, killing him and causing the navy to retreat. It's not all happy endings though, as with Will now tied to the Dutchman, he is forced to say his goodbyes to Elizabeth and leave with his ship. After a post-credit cutscene, we finish off Story 3. On to the fourth and final story. By this point, I was 75% of the way through the main game, and I was still really enjoying myself, so I was super excited to play the last chapter. We started off in London town, where Jack acquired a map to the Fountain of Youth, and is captured and taken to King George II, who wants Jack to lead him to the fountain. It's not long before Jack escapes and is joined once again by Captain Barbossa before setting sail on the HMS Providence. Towards the end of this level, Jack also fights an imposter Captain Jack Sparrow, who turns out to be Angelica, the daughter of a powerful pirate named Blackbeard. As it turns out, Blackbeard also wants to find the Fountain of Youth, but in order to use the fountain, a ritual has to be complete. The fountain ritual requires a mermaid tear, as well as 2 silver chalices from a ship named the Santiago. Both chalices would then need to be filled with water from the fountain, and whoever drinks the water containing the tear would receive all the years of life from the other person. Jack heads off to Whitecap Bay in search of a mermaid tear. And after battering a bunch of mermaids, Blackbeard steals Jack's compass and sends him to find the chalices. He reunites with Captain Barbossa on the Santiago, and it is revealed that Captain Barbossa wants revenge on Blackbeard as he believes him to have sunk the Black Pearl. After finding the chalices, Jack returns to Blackbeard and exchanges them for his compass. Time for the grand finale. Jack leads Blackbeard through a cave to the Fountain of Youth, only to find out that there's a full-blown battle going on over the fountain. Believing the fountain to be an abomination, the Spanish destroy it, but not before Jack can catch the last few remaining drops from the fountain in the chalices. This brings us to the last boss fight in the game, which is against Blackbeard. At the end of the boss fight, Jack is able to trick him into drinking from the wrong chalice, and Angelica is cured whilst Blackbeard dies. After Blackbeard's death, Captain Barbossa claims his ship and crew, whilst Jack abandons Angelica despite saving her and sets off to find the Black Pearl. And that brings us to the end of the main story. The main story to this game was my favourite out of any LEGO game I have played. Most of the levels were super unique and fun to explore, and the game was full of puzzles which kept things engaging and interesting. Even though it's an older LEGO game, I would definitely recommend playing it for yourself if you haven't already, especially if you're a fan of the movies. With the main story complete, all I had to do now was get a bunch of miscellaneous achievements as well as collectibles. I jumped back into the first level of the game, Port Royal, and completed the entire level without dying, unlocking the best pirate I've ever seen trophy. Seeing as I was used to the game by now, this was actually super easy. I also got the Try Wearing a Corset achievement for performing 5 backflips in a row as a female character. Now this one was a little bit trickier, but it didn't take me too long once I got the hang of it. Next, I went back into Smuggler's Den and shot one of the parrots that fly around the level in order to get the Wind in Your Sails achievement. Let's take a break from playing levels and unlock some new characters. The way you unlock characters in this game is by fighting them in the hub area and then purchasing them. This adds them to your collection, and there's many groups to purchase. Whilst on my spending spree, I managed to earn Savvy for purchasing all Jack Sparrow characters, the Brethren Court, and Believing in Ghost Stories. I also got another character related achievement for walking on the ocean floor with every character who had that ability. I also got another one for creating a custom character. I have said the word character so many times over the last 2 minutes and I'm sick of hearing it, so let's switch it up and hop into another level. I entered the Kraken again, and all I had to do to unlock another achievement was let it eat me 10 times. I also went back to Whitecap Bay to fill out my stud meter and earn an achievement for reaching True Pirate in every level of the game. There are two main types of collectibles in this game, mini-kits and Jack's compass items. Despite my absolute hatred for collectibles, these honestly weren't too bad, and I had already gotten the majority by the time I had completed the main story, so all I had to do was run through each level again and use different characters to get the ones I had missed. After earning all the collectibles in a level, a mini ship for that level becomes available at the hub area. Riding all 20 of these ships got me another achievement. The next task I decided to focus on was a bit more tedious. There are 20 red hats to find in the hub area of the game, and each one gives an advantage to the player. For example, there is a red hat that gives double your treasure or makes you invincible. Once found and purchased, these extras can be turned on from the menu, and they are very useful when it comes to getting studs or running through levels quickly. There is an achievement in the game for collecting all 20 of these red hats, so that is exactly what I did. Collecting all 20 of these hats was also the last thing I had to do for the 100%, meaning I also earned the Bring Me the Horizon achievement at the same time. There is also an achievement for playing a level with all 20 extras active. Now I know I've technically earned the 100%, but I'm not quite done yet, as I still have a few achievements to get. With the stud multipliers active, collecting a ridiculous amount of studs became really easy. I was literally getting millions just by running through a single level. This allowed me to collect over 888 million studs fairly quickly, which was another achievement ticked off the list. I also got another couple achievements for finishing Port Royale without collecting a single stud, and completing a level in co-op, which I literally just plugged in my second controller for. This brings us to the final stretch of the challenge. I had 100%ed the game and only had one singular achievement left to get, and that was for jumping into the Maelstrom. I loaded up the level, fought my way to the top of the ship and jumped off, earning the Did Everybody See That achievement and finishing the challenge off with a bang. Now I have been working on this video during a very busy and stressful time in my life. I was moving out, working 2 jobs and felt as though I didn't have enough time in the day to actually do things I enjoyed. This game may not have been the most difficult, but it allowed me to take a few hours to myself now and again in order to have fun and unwind, which is something I really needed and really enjoyed. As always, if you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and feel free to suggest any other games you'd like to see me 100% down in the comments section. Thanks for watching, I hope you all have a great day and I'll see you in the next one.